It's every week I look at that intro and I go, damn it, I gotta change that ending.
Yeah, every time.
It's funny. It's like it's saying 3 p.m. and every time I look at it, I go, I gotta change that. Every time
Yeah,
I say I'm gonna do it on the Sunday, I forget about it by the Monday.
every time.
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong. You can change it.
Yeah, but I'm not very good at it. So
What do you mean?
it would just be like a Photoshop of the number 4 put over the top.
Okay, well, you know what? I think I'm going to put it into. I have this editor in there that, well, you can do it a couple of ways. You can do it in. Well, I guess you can only do it one way. Do a
Mm,
picture and then put it in Canva or something like that, or my editor, and then I just go over top of it with that picture. So it's
yeah,
pretty simple to do. But so another show, another
here we
great
are.
guest. I'm looking forward to speaking to this guest. I've known her for, gosh, it's got to be a little bit over a year. When I first met this person through Twitter,
Mm,
and then she came over and started watching my videos, and we communicate back and forth every so often, and she's, well, we'll get into that when we introduce her. But so what we normally do every week is talk about ourselves, because Lex said to me when he started this show, or when we started this show, he said, Brian, we have to talk about ourselves and be as vain as possible. And
well, it is called. It is with Brian and Lex. We are the stars of this show.
no, we're not vain at all. We're not vain at all.
No,
No, not
just
at all.
we're just your best presenters on a television show. If this was on
Yeah.
TV, we'd be the best.
So I think we're getting down to the fact that we're no longer going to have any problems when we start the show.
Looks that
I
way,
think
yeah.
the last problem that I had was my little jack that goes from my headphones into my Focusrite. That I was told that I was using the wrong one. I should be using a gold-plated one, not the regular silver one. So I changed it, and it is working perfectly. So we can move on from having any more mistakes, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely
It
agree.
only
I
took
think
26 shows.
only took 26. See, if you're ever making a live stream series, always wait 26 episodes and then you'll be fine. Everything before
Yeah.
that is allowed to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Mm. So what's been going on with you this week?
Well, there's a fair few things. I've been working on, obviously, because I've moved, there's not going to be an investigation video out for a little while, actually. But there is going to be some changes to my channel. It's not just going to be paranormal investigation stuff. That I'm going to try and separate it into playlists rather than into separate channels, because it's going to be a pain in the ass. But I'm going to try and move into including a lot more horror content on here, as well as keeping where my paranormal roots are. So the channel name will still have my name in it and everything. But I want to try and include a bit more of a bigger range. So my investigations will still happen here, and I'm going to try and make them trying to make them a bigger deal. I'm going to spend a lot more time on the production value of each investigation. I'm going to promote them really well. I might even release them in longer format rather than part series. I might do them as features and do that. I haven't decided that yet, but the investigations are going to keep coming. They're just going to take a bit of a while to get back into those. So for now, I'm going to move on to some of the horror stuff. I've got obviously I'm filming a video tomorrow, actually, which will be the response video for the YouTubers who have come out and admitted their frauds or faking, sorry, should I say.
So has there been more than one now? Because I only
No,
remember.
just those 3 that were out, but I haven't
Who were the
spoken
other
about it yet.
two?
There was, obviously, we had UGUE, Patty G, and Crossroads. I think it was Crossroads.
Urban Explorations. He came out.
Yeah, so he's one. Then Patty G.
Sorry, he came out as he showboats a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
and
saying he came out of the closet or something like that. I'm just saying,
no, he came out. Yeah, he came. He came out and admitted that at the beginning maybe it wasn't as staged as it was, but
yeah.
I do want to give them props for, even though I don't. Out of the 3 of them, do I personally like any of them? Probably not. I don't think. But I do respect them for finally coming out and admitting stuff like that, because judging from their comment sections on the announcements they did, I think Patty G's was just a statement that she put up online. And
So why don't we do this? Why don't we do this show next week?
we can do. I mean, I'm going to do a response video tomorrow. That'll come out tomorrow night or Tuesday.
So let's do instead of having a guest up next week, we talk about this next week.
Yeah, I think it's a really big thing, especially when I don't know if you got it, but I got a lot of messages that week when Urban Ghost Exploration put it up. People messaging me like, "Look what you started. You guys did this. Like, you've got people talking about it." Now, I don't want to be the vainest person ever and say that it was definitely because you and me called out people. But I do like to take. I would love to have, even if it's 1% of that is because of us. I'm happy with that 1% because they owed it to everyone in the fans. And if I'll talk about it more next week about their comment sections on those announcements, because it was very interesting to see.
Yeah, it was. I read quite a few of the comments, and I have to be honest, some of them weren't very nice. And
understandably,
yeah, and I understand that.
But
so what else is going on?
So there's that. So yeah, obviously moving into the horror stuff. So other than that, next Sunday after Through the Lens, I would I'd like to ask you as well, Brian, to switch over to a channel called Paranormal Playground. I will be on a spotlight for half an hour at 7 p.m. EST, your time.
Okay.
So it'll be 11 p.m. my time for an interview and showcase of my channel, which was confirmed today and announced today by them. So really looking forward to doing that. So if you're a fan of mine, and you'd like to find out what's going on, or you just have,
I'm still on the fence about that.
Maybe this will change your mind, or if you just don't know, or if you just don't know who I am, and you know who I am through this show or through Parajills. Come urge everyone, come across the links. I shared it on my Twitter at Lex Paranormal YT. So come over next Sunday.
So maybe what you should do is send me that link, and then I'll put it on the description for next week's show.
Yeah,
and then people can just click on it and go over and watch you if they care.
Yes, if they can. They probably don't. But if you do,
I'm just kidding.
I'd love it because there's a lot, like I said, a lot of changes. So it's going to be really cool to see where I can take the channel.
It sounds like you've been thinking about this a lot. I know you've brought this up before about maybe changing your channel a little bit. I think personally myself, I think a lot of people are starting to do that. I know with some bigger YouTubers, they are doing different things other than paranormal investigations, which I think is good. I don't really watch them anyways. You just hear it through the grapevine. That's what they're doing. So
I just wanted to do it because it's my interest, and like paranormal wasn't just the only thing I wanted to do. It was always paranormal and horror stuff, and especially with this Halloween being a crazy year for paranormal, for horror movies, and TV series is coming out, like Chucky series, which I'll be doing an episodic review of that series on my channel.
Well, you want to hear something funny? Small world.
Go ahead.
I know you're a huge Chucky fan. My agent, her son is in the Chucky movie.
What, the series or the movies?
I think it's he just filmed it about a month and a half ago.
That'd be the series, I think. Yeah, because they've just finished filming the series. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's kind of a small world that you like Chucky. I know a lot of people do, and it's one of those things where, for me personally, I never really got into it.
No. Well, I think if it was anyone but Brad Dourif, who did the voice of Chucky, if it was anyone but him doing it, I don't know how much of a cult classic it would have become. I think he really brings meaning to it. Makes it an actual character. Like, it's the only thing that I've ever seen where a toy is a whole character in a live action movie, and they've done it really well. Yeah, a couple of films flopped. Like Cedar Chucky's probably the worst film in the franchise. I personally enjoy it, but it's the worst film in the franchise. And I think the Don Mancini, who runs it and created it, knows exactly how to revamp his franchise, and he's done very well to do it. And I'm really looking forward to the series. But that's pretty much going on with me.
Well, other than yesterday was my last day of quarantine.
I was going to say, have you been out the house?
Yeah, I was out today, actually. I went and got that the adapter thing for my Focusrite, and It felt good being outside. Not to say I never went outside earlier.
If anyone from the border is listening, the ones who would know
I didn't
about
go
his
outside.
quarantine.
I didn't go outside. I maybe took the garbage out a few times, but that's about it. But no, I've been a very good boy, and it's funny. You want to hear something really funny before we bring on Patty? I was talking to my MP. Now, my MP is it's kind of long to explain, but Toronto has regions.
Okay,
and MPs are part of the government that take care of that region. So they decide on what's going to go on. So I was talking to the MP for my region in the beginning of the week because I was suggested to call my MP to find out if they can do anything. Well, they can't really do anything. Once the border crossing has decided, you can't really switch it, unfortunately.
Okay,
It's their decision. But anyways, my MP was furious on when he found out that what had happened to me at the border. I shouldn't have been in quarantine. And it's funny. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because keeping in mind, this is my MP and he's part of the Canadian government. He actually said to me that I told him that I've been in quarantine since, the whole time. He goes, well, you're a better person than me because I wouldn't have stayed in quarantine.
That's the thing. It was so unjustified that they told you had to quarantine.
But this is coming from a government official that they've been preaching about following the rules. And this guy is saying to me he wouldn't have followed the rules.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just so up and down. We can get into a whole discussion about COVID. I'm not going to go there, but it's just ridiculous. But anyways, it's just funny. I was told by the Ontario Health, I was told by the Canadian Health, and I was told by the MP that I should not be in quarantine. But nobody did anything about it. So at the end of the day, I did my 14 days and that was it. So but other than that, tonight is the first part of Burwash Prison.
Nice.
And I've seen it. I went through it. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. The cinematography for this video is absolutely incredible. Zach did an amazing job filming with same with Savon and Lily. It's just an incredible video, and the amount we captured was unbelievable. But there's one particular moment, because I was thinking about this today. We were in one room, me and Michael, because Michael was a guest, and we were in one room, and I've always wondered, and I've never actually asked this question, but Michael did. He basically said, what do you do while you're here?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah. And on the SB7, it literally said, sit. Clear as day.
Just sits down.
Clear as day. It said sit on the SB7. The responses that we got on the SB7 were incredible. The responses I got in the second part and the third part is going to blow people away with one response I got, which was definitely a Class A EVP. And it was absolutely incredible. It's actually in a trailer that was released a couple of days ago, that 20-second paraplay. And the question was, do you watch movies? Because in the prison, it looks like there's actually like an auditorium that's got a stage, and then there's a booth in the back where obviously they played movies. And I asked the question, did you watch movies in here? And the response I got was about 4 seconds later, it said definitely.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very good.
On the SB7. It was absolutely incredible.
What do you reckon they watch?
What's that?
What do you reckon they watch? Shawshank.
I'm assuming Shawshank. No, well, the prison closed at 75, so I don't think they saw Shawshank. But the older movies, and you always see it on movies that inmates are sitting in a large room watching movies, and that's what it looked like in this large area. And there was a stage, and I just came out and said, did you watch movies in here? And it said definitely. And it was a deep man's voice, and it was kind of creepy. But So that part one's coming out tonight at 8:00 Eastern, and people are really, really going to enjoy it. We captured a lot on the SB7, and couple of EVPs over the microphone that were pretty incredible too. So
Nice.
I think that is in the second one. Actually, these EVPs that we caught were absolutely incredible. That's in the second one, but the third one is. Yeah, well, we'll definitely see, because originally it was only going to be 2 parts. And Zach called me up and said, "Listen, Brian, I got like 50 minutes of raw footage here that we haven't used. And this is when you're on the 3rd floor and the auditorium where that amazing EVP came out of the SB7. What do you want to do?" Well, I called up Natalie and she said, "Do a 3rd part. Why not?"
Yeah,
like
fair enough.
whatever. So we did a trailer for the 3rd part, and so it's going to be great. So why don't we do this? Why don't we get to Patty? She's been waiting patiently in the green room, and I don't know if she can hear me. I don't know. Could they hear you? Or
Yeah, they'll be able to hear you in the green room.
Can you? Okay. So let's bring her up. You know what, Lex? I'm going to let you introduce her, because something I found out today that I didn't realize, that she is part of Parachills.
She is, yeah, very, very good colleague of mine, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's absolutely an honor to introduce Patty to our show today. I've known her for a very long time. I think probably since January, I think, is when I was introduced to her. And
She's nodding, yes.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So I would like, before she comes on, I just want to say, like, this is as hot. We'll talk into it. There's going to be a little bit of talk about what it's like for her as a creator anyway. But I've never seen someone on a platform with this much respect for somebody and shows that much respect back. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about her. It's really good. I think she's got such a positive attitude to being a creator. I know that sometimes shit happens and it does affect her, but I've never seen someone be able to bounce on it, be strong about it, crack on, carry on doing what they're doing, and spread positivity throughout our entire paranormal community. And it's wonderful to see. So I'd love to introduce a dear friend and a colleague. Patty, welcome to our show.
There she
Hey,
is.
everybody.
Now, I know you do a lot of live streams, but have you ever had anybody interview you?
Yeah. Amy from What's the Paranormal.
Okay. Yeah.
I've known her for a little while now. Hey, Jenny. By the way, Jenny is the one that edits my videos.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I didn't know.
Without her, like, my videos would go to shit. She does a really good job.
I was
She's
going to say,
honest.
I was going to say, if there was ever a guest who was going to guarantee one viewer, it would have been you guaranteeing Jenny was going to be in the chat today. It's amazing. Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. It's nice to see you. And it's funny because I watched that video today of you and Jenny in the cemetery.
I watched it today as well.
And
that was creepy.
yeah, that was a really, really good video. You guys had some fairly good responses on the necrophonic. You had some responses on the K2, and even the footsteps behind you.
That was creepy. I thought John was running up behind us for some reason. I looked around. I'm like, wait, what? No, he's in front of me.
Yeah. There's something creepy like footsteps in graveyards, though. Like, I had it in my first ever video where something ran towards the camera. So when that happened in your video, I was like, oh, not just me. But it was
and they kept following us the whole night. So.
Oh, really? You know what's really good is when you capture those. When you capture those footsteps. Like, I captured footsteps. I've been to this abandoned church quite a few times, and I left a still camera in the one room just going, and we were in another room, and all of a sudden we heard these footsteps come up to the camera. But the funny thing is, the footsteps, it sounded like it was walking in water, and the carpet was completely dry. And which was really, really, really strange, but it's great when you capture those those moments of like footsteps and EVPs, and you seemed a little bit taken off guard when that happened.
Yeah, I was like, I seemed braver on the outside, but I was a little bit nervous. And I told Jenny this. I was like, I think I feel a lot better when there's a bunch of us. But like, if it was just the three of us walking, probably that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
Is that because like when you have loads of people with you, let's say like I tend to do mine with just 2 or 3. When you get loads, it kind of makes you feel like you can explain everything because of them. So like footsteps, you could have been like, oh, it's one of the 10 people that we've got here. But when there's only 3 of you and you can see the other 2, so you know it's not them, would that play into it because you can't explain it
like I thought it was rather interesting. And my mom, when I got home, she was like putting holy water on me and everything, and she was like, "I need to protect you." I'm like, "Calm down."
That's funny. I've heard that 1 or 2 times myself. So I think we've all heard it. The last thing we need to do is bring anything home with us when we're doing an investigation. But as I said, I think it was on another show, I think it happens to everybody at least once.
Yeah.
And whether it's an attachment, whether it's something following you home, or something along those lines. So why don't we just dive right into this, Patty? And I'm going to ask you the first question. Why don't you tell us about your latest investigation or an investigation coming up?
Okay. Well, obviously, some of you guys saw the graveyard. And also there's the daytime graveyard investigation. And we also went to the S.K. Pierce mansion. And it was rather interesting. I heard noises I couldn't explain. And also my K2. Like every time my spirit box goes off, I have an app on my phone. Like it would go crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And one of the other things we experienced is that it's been said there's a woman that walks around on the 2nd floor and you can smell the perfume. And you can almost taste it. It's interesting for me because I have no sense of smell, but like I have the taste like in the back of my mouth and it just like tasted weird. And that was interesting. I also did a 30-minute alone challenge. And there was a creepy doll there. People that know me, I don't do dolls. I don't do clowns. That was terrifying.
Yeah, I don't do dolls either. So no. I'm with you on that one. But it sounds like you got a lot of things coming up. Yeah. And I will say, I watched the video today also of you doing the investigation on Ed and Lorraine Warren. And first I didn't realize that they were buried. Now this is Boston, right?
No, it's in Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut.
I'm from Boston, but it's in Connecticut.
So they're buried in Connecticut. Okay, so that's where I was kind of getting mixed up because I thought they were born in Connecticut, and I know you live in Boston, right? So
well, my cousin from Connecticut lived an hour away from there. So, and I was like, hey, let's do a graveyard investigation for my channel. It's been something I've been wanting to do, and he was like, sure, but like his now wife wasn't so fond of that idea. Because they just bought a house and everything, so she was like, what are you guys doing?
The last thing you want to do is be bringing Lorraine home with you, right?
No, sorry. Now,
you know, the funny thing about, and I was thinking about this while watching the video, if anybody or any spirit would come out and talk to you, knowing who Lorraine is, you would think it would be her.
Yeah. Hey? Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
Bit of a dick move. Her entire lifespan is proving the existence, and then when she gets the chance, she's like, nah, fuck it, it's fine.
She's probably done it over and over and over again. She's probably tired of it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, but that's great. It sounds like you got a lot of things coming up, and I enjoyed watching because I watched 2 today, and I thought they were really good. And you definitely one thing I definitely noticed, and I'm sure Jenny will agree with me. You are definitely very, very respectful. And that's one thing I enjoyed watching, because you can sometimes you watch the odd video and people not being very respectful. And that's one thing I noticed today. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed the video or both videos.
I'm respectful, but I'm also careful too, because you just can't trust any like spirit or whatever, but you have to still be respectful. What pisses me off is that people like to fake things or try to elaborate too much. That's fine. I mean, but like for me, people like me and Jenny and John and a few others, we like the real thing, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Me and Brian can agree with you 100% behind it. It's something I speak out about quite strongly all the time. So
I don't need you calling me out anytime soon.
you know, we spoke about this before. I was on the phone to Patty a few weeks ago while talking to some of the Parachills members, and I remember saying that, oh, this is when I did the response to you know who on Twitter, and she's like, and I was just talking about all these other things. I was like, yeah, but it's like you know, people just have to get worried when I talk about people because I do my research first, so I know what I'm talking about. And Patty was like, I don't ever want you to do one on me. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm ever going to have to be honest.
I know.
But I did say, I was like, even if let's say Patty chose to fake a video and I called her out on it, because of how nice you are, I still come across as the asshole in the video. Like, there's no matter how I spun it, because but it is funny. But I'm glad that you said that as well, because I know that Jenny has a stance on it too. We've had her on the show before, and it's just, do you get frustrated like we do when you see? I wouldn't say let's not say obviously faked ones, because we know that, let's say, I know some people in the chat or replays won't like the comment, but people like Jasco, who obviously inflates the Randonautica videos, we know they're not real, but that doesn't bother me. But the ones that are subtly trying to do it, so let's say like Urban Exploration, who came out and said they faked it. Like,
I knew they were fake from the get-go.
Yeah, but how frustrating is it for you, for people that are trying to? So, like I said, the difference in obviously faking it is that we know it's fake, but the ones that are subtly trying to do it and then pass it off as real, how frustrating is that for you, for someone who is really trying to capture legitimate evidence?
It is frustrating, and it's like, you know, I kind of told you so to the audience, you know, but at the same time, now it's kind of like, oh, well, you have to think of it this way. Now, anybody's going to say on the internet everything and anything's fake. And what annoys me is that, why don't you just put it under entertainment? Because the paranormal experience I've experienced is doesn't match up. You know, and it's frustrating. And it's frustrating to me when some paranormal investigators go to certain places and they elaborate on the story, and I go in and I get the true fact, and I'm just like, why are you trying to fool people? Just say the fact, and you know.
Yeah,
I'm just a factual person.
Both.
Yeah, and I agree with this statement right here. What Jenny's saying, it makes us look boring, because it's true. If something normal, and me and Lex have talked about this in the past. There's a particular YouTuber that's out there that something happens within the first 4, 5, 6 minutes of the video on every single video. Because that's to hook you in. And we understand that. But then you got your real paranormal investigators out there that might not capture anything for an hour, an hour and a half, you know, but somehow in the video, we got to put it in there. So, you know, sometimes you're going to catch something and sometimes you're not. And, sometimes it's very difficult to put those videos up there. And because people are going to be watching and goes, well, why did he put this video up? He didn't catch anything. Or why did she put up this video? You didn't catch anything. Well, because the fact that we spent 8 hours in a place filming, and we don't want to feel like we've wasted our time. So we want to put something up and, to either show the place or where we were.
Or just make like a little adventure out of it,
Yeah. So
that's another good point from Jenny, by the way.
What's that?
When we edit out the quiet, boring parts, we get accused of faking things because we have cuts. See, that's true, because if you watch my videos, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good active one, Clua Park Part 3, where obviously there was a fair few cuts in it because I got rid of all the bits where we stood in the forest for a long time doing nothing. Luckily, no one's called it fake, or no one's tried to say it's fake, but that video would probably be, if I was a bigger YouTuber, that would probably be the video that gets attacked a lot because it's cut up in so many places, but it's done for a reason. But but the way that I can legitimize it is if you go back to my other series, the Red Book one, I put up Part 3 for 30 minutes, nothing happens in that video. And I think we've spoke about it before, where I've said I would rather put up a video that shows nothing than fake a video, because it I think it says something about the creator who puts up a video where they don't catch anything, because it's not just about proving the existence, it's about proving if a place is or isn't haunted. No, and I think that's part of the evidence is not haunted, so you have to show it.
Yeah, and also I always, noticed on my videos, I always tell my viewers, just, they're not always going to come up when you want it. When the ghosts are going to come up on their own time.
Yeah, and you said that in your video. You said that in your video with Ed and Lorraine, that sometimes they take and it's true. It's very true. You might go to a place that's very haunted, but you might not capture anything. But you can go 2 weeks later, and then you're capturing all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those debates that I think it's a never-ending debate when it comes to people that exaggerate or fake videos. And and you're right, Patty. Why not just put up there saying that we're not paranormal investigators, we're entertainers, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to entertain you.
They don't even have to say that. Just put on their video title, just put it on the bottom of the screen for a flash, so it flashes on. We're not going to pay attention to it, but it's there.
Yeah,
and that would make a difference.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Patty. For the people that are meeting you for the first time today, that are in the room, when you go on an investigation, what is your favorite piece of equipment?
I love the K2, and also I love the. One of my favorite is the ghost, whatever, I can read what, they're saying. It's not always, accurate, but it's so I can see the words. For those of you who don't know me, I'm hard of hearing. So if I use a spirit box or a necrophonic or something like that, it's a little harder for me to understand what they're saying. But it's, nice to have equipment where I can just read, So.
Yeah. And I respect that. And for people that are meeting Patty for the first time, she does have I don't know. Do you like to say challenges, or is it challenges that you like to refer to, or
I have a disability?
Disability. You're okay with that? Yeah. And I was going to say this at the beginning when we were introducing you, or before that. I have so much respect for you because one, because we know each other, and two, I am planning to come out there sometime soon and investigate with you, because you've asked me, you've invited me to come out and investigate with you, and hopefully I can do that soon and not get stopped at the border and be put into quarantine again.
We need to smuggle you over here.
I definitely interested in doing an investigation with you because I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
and a colleague in the paranormal community.
Mhm.
And I just have mounds and mounds of respect for you. And I know we were talking about this before in the green room, and I asked you if you wanted to talk about it a little bit. And
Mhm.
I know in the past you've had some problems with some people
Mhm.
saying some not so nice things about you.
Yeah.
And what do you do as a person to overcome that? And do you ignore it? Do you just move on? What do you do?
Um, I just keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm just like, you know what, F them. I don't freaking care if I don't do live streams for a while. That's fine. And my mom made a good point. She's like, what is it benefiting you? You're so much better and having so much more fun doing content than you are live streams. And she said, are you being paid for it right now? I said, no, not till I'm monetized. And she goes, well, just have fun and make content for a while. And when it's, time, then to go from there. And it's just, people are just absolutely evil on the internet. And being a person with disabilities is not easy. And kind of, I saw a person with disabilities who was in a wheelchair that was doing a live stream. And I'm sure many of you know, Omar tweeted it out and said, show her some love. And you know what? I respect that. A person with disabilities should be able to make content for their viewers without
100%.
having to be constantly harassed and bullied.
Mm.
It's not
And
okay.
yeah. And you know what I want to say to that, to be
Mhm.
honest? Whoever was doing that, and I'm going to say this right now, and I hope this person sees this, come to me. Come to me and try that crap. And then me and you are going to have a talk, and let's see if you continue doing it after. And I'm sick and tired of these. I'm sick and tired of these idiots,
bullies.
these trolls coming on. Like when I do TikTok lives, I get so many trolls in the page saying so many different things. Like I ignore it. I don't even give it the time of day, and I have mods in the room that just mute them or ban them anyways. But you know what? Like this person has a lot of respect for a lot of people. She follows a lot of people. She does a lot of things for other people. And this moron or whoever these morons are that coming into the room and putting down this person that supports a lot of people, you need to get a life. You really, really need to get a life. I wanted to say that. I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit,
It's okay.
upset.
A
And
lot of people feel the way
you know what? I'm just tired and sick of it. Not a lot of people know this, but I have a sister who's in a wheelchair. Okay. She was hit by a car when she was 5 years old. She's been in a wheelchair her whole life, except for the first 5 years. And, she had a brain injury. And she doesn't talk as well as me or you or whatever, and she can't walk, and her whole left side is paralyzed, and she might be 40, but she's got the mentality of a 10-year-old. And every time we would go somewhere, people would be looking at her, and you just get to that certain point where you just want to go over and say, you know what the fuck's wrong with you? She's a person too. And yeah, me and Lex did a show a while back, and we were coming down on somebody, but this person was being disrespectful, and that's why we came down on this person. But I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick of this crap that I see on Twitter. I'm sick of the crap I see on Facebook, and that's why I got away from it. I don't even deal with it anymore. And
well, touching on that, Brian, there's a difference between what you and me did on this show to what these assholes are doing in people's chat sections and comment sections.
Oh, they were coming after all of my friends I was associated with.
No, I can't imagine why. The person's obviously jealous of you, I think, because you are so loved on this platform by so many people.
My personal information, we already contacted some people, and my family, you do not want to fuck with them.
Yeah, I have a famous saying. that I said on the show a number of times, and I think it's a great quote.
Mhm.
Don't let yesterday use up today.
Right.
And you got to just move on. You just gotta move on and say fuck them. You know what?
That's what I do.
If you
Yep.
need to take that time to come out to my channel and troll me and put me down, dude, you need a life. You need a life. You need a girlfriend. You need a hobby. You need something. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Cool.
So let's move on. And I'm glad. You know what? Patty, I respect you because you were unsure if you wanted to talk about it, and I respect you even more because you did.
I mean, another person with disabilities might be watching this, and you never know. As I told Fluffy and a couple other people, I had my issues with them in the past, and we resolved it. We're good now. But I said to him, listen, you've got to be real careful who's watching. You never know who's watching your videos. So.
That's true. And I wanted just to add to that quickly. First of all, to Spitfire Dragon in the chat, saying that they got mods to protect you. That's great. They treat you like a sister. And he's also been hit by a couple of people in the live streams too. So it happens to a fair few. But I just want to add to the top of that, just on what you just said, that someone with a disability could be watching this video or watches your videos in general. And I want to say that I really hope someone is, because I would, if I had a disability and I came across you, I would be so inspired by what you're doing that I would think of my disability as part of my personality and not a crutch, as I see you do. You fully accept the way it is, and you've done the way you do things makes it so unique to you that I think a lot of people, anyone who doesn't matter what type of content they want to make, I really hope they stumble across your channel, because I think you'll inspire them to be really good creators in whichever one they want to do. Because I'm so proud of you.
It's not easy though, and like somebody told me, and I told somebody else, I said, if YouTube was easy, everybody would be doing it,
Yeah. So let's move on here now that we've gotten that out of the way, and I'm glad you talked about it. I hope in some way it made you feel a little bit better. I know you've moved on from it, but me and Lex wanted to give our 2 cents about it. And again, if this guy wants to come to my channel and start doing that to me, then me and him are going to have a very, very long talk, and whoever it is, because they're not going to be happy after that conversation.
Go on the Jake Paul undercard.
So why don't we get back to what this is about? So what has been your favorite place to investigate?
Well, so far, it would be SK Pierce Mansion. That place was beautiful. I contacted the owners, and we're welcome back. What me and Jenny and everybody were talking about, we might try to see if we can do an overnight stay there the whole night or whatever. So because we got there, we got some stuff, but we want to kind of explore more to see if what happened, because what happened to somebody else didn't happen to us, so we kind of want to experience it too.
Yeah. Lex, you want to ask the next question, or?
Yes, I just want to kind of go off that. So I want to go the opposite way. The places you've done so far, what's been either the scariest place or the scariest moment you've encountered investigating?
A stupid idea I did recently.
As paranormal investigators, we all have stupid ideas.
I live in a wooded area, and my mom said, "Oh, just go because it's supposedly an Indian trail." I have to look for that video, Jenny. I have to send it to you. I was alone with my dog. And at the end, I started hearing things and getting creeped out. Not by myself during the day. So if it's haunted, it's haunted. And I always felt the vibe in there. And I felt like somebody was standing, looking at me. So I just booked it. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
That's probably the
Good idea.
smartest. That's probably the smartest thing to do because some other investigators, like maybe him, would run towards that thing standing there.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would definitely run towards the noise, not away from the noise.
I would have
So-
booked it. I would have gone. I would have done
You know
the
what?
same.
I think it depends on the situation because there has been times where I have left the room because something was in there and I saw it, and I have left the room. So I'm not saying I'm completely bulletproof because I will leave.
Are you
a
sure
room.
you're not bulletproof? I've
I
seen your
will
video.
I will leave the room at sometimes. The only reason you don't see it is because we don't show it. So
It's been one of my favorite things I've seen on Brian's. Right, it was on my, which one was this? Was this Lego store?
yeah,
In season 1, was it? And this, you're the other side of the room, and then you see a shadow thing cross the other side, and you're mid sentence, and you just turn and book it towards that corner. I saw someone over there. I was like, yeah, most of us would have just like, been like, we think we saw it, but no, you were gone. It was good.
yeah.
Good fun.
And that's then the next one, the next video after that is when I got choked.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
that was pretty bad, but and you wouldn't think
I
that
know
kind of
that
stuff,
feeling.
you wouldn't think that kind of stuff would happen in the salon,
Hmm.
but it wasn't necessarily because of the salon. It was because of the property. Yeah. Why?
You know why it choked you? Because you didn't bring any luscious hair to work with. I've been
Okay,
waiting
here we
2
go.
Oh,
seasons.
right. You don't
I've
have
waited-
hair.
I've waited 2
No.
seasons to make that joke.
Yeah. Whatever. So let me ask you this question, Patty.
Yes.
If me and Lex were to give you a bag full of money and you could go anywhere in the world to do an investigation, where would that be?
Ireland Let Castle.
What's it called?
Let Castle, I believe.
Lep
or-
Castle.
Yeah. Hold on. Can you see it? No.
Oh, is that Leap Castle in
A
Ireland?
Leap
Sorry.
Castle.
Yeah.
There you go.
And what is it about Leap Castle that makes it fascinating? You want to go there.
I've seen stories on it.
It looks
And I've
creepy as
always
hell.
been fascinated with Ireland and Europe and the medieval times. And I really like history, love history. I get that from my dad. And, the whole like mystical kind of feel of Europe and Ireland and,
Yeah.
exploring
great
the.
place.
Well, hopefully, if you ever make it there, we can try and time it. Because I remember I've got. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. So, Chris, if I get in trouble for this, I'm sorry. That there is apparently there's someone who wanted something investigated in Ireland, and I've been allocated that task at some point once the restrictions are gone. So, hopefully, we might end up in Ireland at the same time. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any money. I don't have any, I don't know.
Chris, help her out. Send her to Ireland.
Give me the island.
That's an expensive trip. That's
I know,
definitely-
right?
And that's
worth
why
it.
we gave you all kinds of money to go.
That's why we robbed. Me and Brian robbed every bank. How many banks have we robbed to give all these investigators money, Brian? This is 26 times.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I have a book coming out.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I have a book being edited at the moment. My friend over at Parachills is helping me edit and publish and all that. So
And what's the book about?
it's about my life, what I went through. There's little paranormal stories in there, because that was just part of my life, really, as well as growing up and having issues and being a rebel and all this stuff. So
Oh, you're a rebel.
I have a little bit of a rebel.
God, she's a badass. You can tell.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. I think anybody that does paranormal is a little bit of a badass, in my mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. What's your favorite thing? Hanging out with dead people, like.
yeah, exactly. Well, here you go, guys. This is Patty. This is Patty's Adventures. And if anybody's new in the room today, you can go in the description below and you can go over and follow her channel. You can follow her on Twitter. And she's a huge supporter of everybody. I'm sure she has her limits like everybody else. We can only watch so many videos at a time and be in so many different rooms at a time. But I know she's a huge supporter of Lex. I know she's a huge supporter of mine. And I know, we all know, she's a huge supporter of Jenny. And
is she? I didn't know that.
And yeah, definitely go and check out her channel. I know she's starting to put up those paranormal videos. And I watched a couple of them today, and they were great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be doing down the road. Yeah. And I'm really, really respect you a lot, Patty. And I think you're a great person. And
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and I look forward to the day where we can do an investigation together. So you better be taking me to a very haunted place. So you can stand behind me if something comes out and tries to attack us.
No, I need you to see where I'm going. You need to go behind me. You're taller than me. I'm only 5 feet. You can see above me.
But I definitely want to say thank you for being on today's show. And hopefully people that are watching the replays are going to go over and subscribe to your channel. Let's build this girl's channel. Like, seriously. I don't say that enough to people on this show when we do interviews. Go over to Patty's channel and subscribe, because she deserves it. And she does a great, wonderful job on her channel, and she has a lot of people behind her. And for that idiot, I'm going to say it again, for that idiot or idiots that were doing that, come over to my channel. Let's have a talk, because I definitely want to talk to you morons. And sorry for saying that, but we got to stick together. And we definitely have to stick together. So I'm going to say my goodbyes. I'm going to let Lex. There I go again. I did it again.
You're going to let me.
I really got to control that. Go ahead.
Sorry, Dad.
Well, I am the senior here. So I am the senior here.
Yeah. But I completely would like to just double down on what Brian said, that it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show finally.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Like I said, I've known you.
It's an honor to be here too.
Thank you. And we can all agree, everyone in the chat can agree, that you're one of the nicest people on this platform. And if anyone deserves to succeed in it, you're definitely someone who does. I think you're on 378 subscribers at the moment. Yep. I would love for you guys, if you haven't subscribed, to do that. I want to see Patty hit 400 by the end of the week.
I don't know if that's possible.
It's possible. Anything is possible. With a dream and beer, anything is possible. Okay. But please go and show us some love. Even if you haven't got time to sit in a whole video that she's doing, just pop in for 5 to 10 minutes to get that watch time done properly. Leave some great comments and feedback in her comment section. Be active on her channel so you're not unsubbed from her by YouTube.
YouTube likes to do that.
They do. And I really look forward to seeing everything you've spoken about that's going to be coming up soon. I'm really excited for you. And yeah, I just want to say thank you once again for coming on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, Patty.
All right. Do I log off? Or?
No, don't worry. I'm going to take care of
it.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, she's so lovely. Great. She's so funny as well. I think she's great.
How long has she been back with Parachills? I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, I've been out of the loop for a little while, so I've been out for a month. So I'm not sure how long it's been. I'm sure she'll let us know, or someone will let me know. But it's been in there for a bit, yeah. And it's nice to be using our publishing network to get the book done. I didn't know that was coming, so that's really nice. Good. Yeah. Obviously, we've got.
Maybe what we'll do is when she has that book out, we'll bring her back up on the show, so she can talk about the book, so she can get that book out there, and people can pick it up and order it and read it. And
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a copy of it and read it.
Yeah, for sure. So that is our show today, guys. Another show, another week come and gone, and hopefully, the video does well tonight on Paraflix. You guys, if any subscribers are out there to Paraflix, definitely go and watch that. It's going to be a fantastic
You
3-part
can't
series.
go wrong with a prison video, man.
No,
Like,
definitely
they're
not.
always good.
So I think we've determined our next show
Yep.
is going to be no guest, and we're going to talk about what's been transpiring over the last, I guess, month or so, about people coming out and talking about, I don't want to say faking, but definitely staging.
Staging, yeah.
Staging
Well,
seems to be the word.
it is. I think it's the less aggressive word, I think, because when you're saying you're faking it, it's always said in such an aggressive tone. I would know because I've called people out on it publicly. So it is quite an aggressive. But if you say that they're staging certain things, we'll go through this next week. I've got. I'm actually going to pull the transcript off Urban Ghost Explorations video, and so I want to talk through some of the points they said about it, and I want to see if I can get some of the comments out of it as well. Same with Crossroads, and I think he admitted it. I don't know. I need to double check my source because someone told me he did, and I've seen a screenshot of something he put up.
Okay,
but it's kind of. If I remember correctly, it's like he admits it, but it's very passive aggressively not sorry about it. So if I'm right, I might be wrong, but I just need to double check it. But I won't do that. And then obviously I'll get the Patty's comment as well that she's come out and said. So.
Well, it's funny. There was a comment that I saw a couple of weeks ago, and I brought it up to you, and we'll definitely talk about it next week. There's another person that put something on Twitter that was absolutely... in my opinion, outrageous. And it was a particular person putting a tweet out saying, basically admitting he's doing that, but at the same time, you're watching my videos and you're filling my pockets with money.
Should I also bring up the one that I sent you the other day?
We'll talk about that next week.
I mean, I won't say who it is in there because I'm sure everyone will know, but it was quite hypocritical of the comment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I saw
you did,
it,
yeah.
So we'll talk about that next week. So we're definitely going to have a show, and I think I got a name for it. I think we're going to call it staging. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be our show next week, and I want to thank everybody that came into the room today. Obviously, we had a great guest with Patty, and again, go over to her channel and subscribe, watch one of her videos, leave a comment, and let's get her up to 500. Let's get her up to 500. I know it's a big number, and hopefully this video is going to be replayed and people are going to share out this video. Let's get her up to 500 in the next couple of months. It's doable. It's definitely
very
doable.
But, especially with the content she's got coming up as well. Like, you're not going to want to miss it.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody that came in the room today. I want to thank you, Lex, again for another great show today. And I guess we will see you guys next week. You want to say anything?
No. No, just want to say, fantastic. Another great show. Can't wait to see you next weekend. If you haven't already started sharing out this show, please start doing it. Even if you just want to just share the link out once. I want people to, especially for next week's show, I want to get some participation in it. I want to hear what you guys think of the admissions and stuff like that, and your viewpoint. I don't want to. I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing how you and me feel about it, so it's going to be fun. I want to get a bit more of you guys or some of the community coming into that chat next week, giving their view on what they thought of the creators coming out and admitting it. Do they feel as strongly against it as we do, or why they're in favor of it? I would love to get you guys input. So please share the video out, this one out, spread the love to Patty, and please come back next week. Spread the word that we will be discussing the staging effect on the show next week. And thank you very much for again giving us a platform for us to talk on. Thank you very much.
And I will say this last thing before we leave. Today's lighting on me has been absolutely incredible. Look at this.